Okay, so today's conclusion exercise. Go and read up the Samaditi Sutta. Yeah, go and read up Samaditi Sutta. Yeah, and then check the mental states. Yeah, whether it's wholesome or unwholesome. Yeah, or see whether we actually unconsciously have wrong views or not. Okay. Then I also want to take this opportunity to, let me see whether I can, okay, so, okay, so this is from one of the, I think, parents from SBYM. She sent me the question actually much earlier, and I had wanted to address it in SGC, but well, the topics didn't quite match. So it has to do with Qing Ming. And because next week we are inviting Chuan Xian Fa Si for SGC, and then on the first week of April, we are inviting Bante. So I thought I will perhaps cover it here. So this is a topic on Qing Ming. What should a Buddhist do on Qing Ming? Is it necessary to 记住? Yeah. So I think I mentioned in one of the session about what Qing Ming is about. That the Qing Ming originally referred to the time of the year, yeah, the season of the year. Qi Qing Jing Ming. That during this period, the winter shroud has already cleared. Yeah, we are in full blown spring, turning into summer soon. So the air is clear, and then the air is purified because of the light rain, and then the scenery is clear. Of course, in Singapore now, it's not Qi Qing Jing Ming. We have haze, and then occasionally the shroud cover. So, is it necessary to 记住? So an ex-colleague ever asked me, do we have to do prayers for the departed, or is it more for the living that we do? Yeah, I would say we are doing it for both. Yeah, on one hand, especially for those of us whose family members has just passed away, it's a grieving process. Yeah, it's a grieving process. It helps us to come to terms with their passing. But at the same time, in Buddhism, we say that as we do these practices, we do it recollecting the departed, and in this way, not transfer merits, but we dedicate the merits that we have accrued to benefit the departed in due time. So then the next question is, do we need or not to do offering and burn incense paper? So by offering here, I would presume is offering of food. Is it necessary? Well, strictly speaking, you would hope that it's not necessary. Because if they actually benefit, it means that they have been reborn in the hungry ghost realm. Yeah. Then there are texts that describe how certain beings of the spirit realm, they just absorb the scent. Yeah, they feed on the scent of it. But we would want our ancestors, after they pass away, our parents or our grandparents, to be reborn in the happy realm already. Then they don't need this. But then does it mean that we don't need to offer? I look at it more in this way. It is more like when you send your friend a Facebook message, yeah, or a picture of a cake, yeah, on Facebook, yeah. Your friend also cannot eat it, right? It's really the thought that counts. To let the person know you remember him, yeah, or her. So to me, the 祭祖 is just like celebrating birthday. Yeah. Both are about celebrating their existence, celebrating their presence in your life. To let the person know that having them in your life has made a difference, that it has had an impact that you would like to honor. Yeah. Uh, Memorial Day is not about remembering their death. Yeah. Qing Ming is not remembering our ancestors, our forefathers' death. It's about remembering their living, the way they live their life. I recall how during Qing Ming, right? Very interesting. I don't know how this tradition started, but my mother's side, whenever it's Qing Ming, right? And we go to our uncle's place for prayers, all the extended family will come together and then they will gong go, and you'll talk about how Ah Gong like this, like that. And it's always speaking of their virtue. Yeah, about how astute Ah Gong is, about how Ah Gong has such qualities and such qualities. Sometimes talking about how strict he is, but in an endearing fashion. Yeah. Oh, so I would think that it is a beautiful practice. Yeah. Um, Also, I don't think there's any harm in doing that. Burning of incense paper, uh, even if they become ghosts, they cannot use it. I always, I always find this very amusing. Yeah. Back in the 80s, when I was a kid, I remember we still hold every year. Then my mom told us that one day our 师公 Wu Feng So Wu Feng one day when my mom was in Teluk Kurau Guan Yin Ting, the old temple, and then or was it in Alexandra? Probably should be in Guan Yin Ting, huh? In the Teluk Kurau or Teluk Kurau, right? At that point in time, 听不到你。
观音亭在阿里山大。
哦，已经搬去那个时候已经搬去 Alexandra 了。
起初是在德鲁古捞那个法藏。
对了，对了，
法藏。
Okay, so, 施工 one day while they are folding, according to what I remember, my mom can correct me if I remember wrongly. So 施工 saw them all, a whole bunch of the 老菩萨 folding. My mom is the 小菩萨。So 施工 come over and say, 李紅啊，阿面啊，你麻煩啊，廿個就 call 自己燒就好了。Correct or not? Did I imitate the voice close enough? 我像仿施工像不像？不像。Yeah, and then my mom was like, huh, oh yeah, so don't need to burn anymore. Yeah. How many of you still fold incense paper and burn? Any of you? Sun Hao do that. In the end, the youngest one is doing that. But Sun Hao, if your family is doing it, please don't go back. I mean, turn around and tell them to stop. Okay? Yeah. Unless they consult you. Consult means that you get to decide. Yeah. because you should be among the youngest in the family. So you don't go and rock the boat. Oh, yeah. So the rest of you really don't burn incense paper anymore. Some of you nod your head, means don't burn. Then some of you shake your head, means shake means I ask you all don't burn. Then you all shake your head means no, I still burn. Okay, if you all don't burn, I don't have to explain anymore. Possible not to burn paper, not green, as in where the ancestors really receive the food too and can eat. Can they eat? Cannot eat the food. Don't need to reply me via text. Okay, I told her that I will reply in SGC or something. Yeah. Another topic I'm interested is Buddhist funeral. What and how should it be like? So we usually do a short prayer. Yeah. And the way we do it is we spend more time explaining. Yeah. Giving teachings so that people have understanding. Yeah. And I would usually also conduct a two-way confession repentance sort of like a ceremony. Yeah. To make peace with the departed. Yeah, in both ways. Let's say our father passed away. Our father is not enlightened. Yeah. So we are also not enlightened. So for sure, we would have done something stupid to annoy our father. Yeah. Sometimes even intentionally. And similarly, our father, being unenlightened, may have done something maybe not stupid, but hard to please all of us, right? All so many children, I mean, 4 children, how to please everybody. So maybe please one person, the other three don't not happy. Maybe please 3 person, the last one not happy. So hard to please everybody. So maybe we get upset. Or maybe sometimes our father purposely annoy us. Then we're not happy. Yeah. Tell us not to put our things on the floor. Then we still put on the floor. So he want to teach us a lesson. So purposely step on it. Yeah. So maybe at that moment we're not happy. So take this opportunity, yeah, with the person's passing to make peace. Yeah. First to forgive our father or mother or akong ama, and then the other way to seek forgiveness also. To seek forgiveness. Yeah. So for the wrong we have done, to seek forgiveness. For whatever unhappiness we have towards our parents, our ancestors, to forgive. I usually guide the family to do this. Should ashes be scattered or stored in a niche? So this part, there's no stipulation inside the sutra. The Buddha only mentioned specificity for a few categories. The Buddha only mentioned about the how the remnants of the Buddha, the disciples, as in like the monastic sangha, the enlightened beings, and also the wheel turning monarch. Yeah. There's no, strictly speaking, there's no funeral rites for Buddhists. Yeah. We just adopt whatever funeral rites there is for different culture, as long as it doesn't violate first principle. Yeah. No, it doesn't violate the teachings or the practices, or as in the precepts. So do you have YouTube videos on this topic? Actually, I have past videos on this also. Yeah, I also wrote an article about it. You all can go and search my blog, buddhavachana.net. Yeah, I think it's called of incense paper and something something. Yeah. When a person pass away, must he or she have a wake? The wake is not for that person; it's for us. Yeah, yeah. The person actually don't need a wake for the most part. Yeah. Sorry, 师傅. Show me, why are you sorry? What do you do this time?
There's a typo, but I meant to ask what happened. What about the belief, the practice, or the prescribed practice, not touching the body for 8 hours?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Thank you for asking this question. So this practice actually come later. Yeah. You will not see any sutta. There's no sutra in any of the tradition that talk about this 8 hours thing. Yeah. In commentaries, maybe. Yeah. In sub-commentaries, yes. Yeah. And then in certain tradition, yes. But not in all traditions. And at least I haven't seen any sutra that actually where the Buddha say, oh monks, do not touch the body. No, I don't see any of this. Oh. But having said that, then why is it that our masters in different tradition start to suggest this? It can come about out of concern that if a person were to be handled within the first initial 8 hours, perhaps the person has not taken rebirth. And as a result of the movement, the person may become agitated, and as a result, be reborn in a bad state. Yeah. So it is more of a in case, just in case. Yeah. But so I will share with you all both sides of the argument. Okay. So this is one side. But if you look at the Pali Canon, I've mentioned this sutta many times. So there was this person who came to see the Buddha, lunchtime going back, then asked, what if he get into accident? Will he then go into a lower realm? The Buddha said, no, you will not. And then the Buddha gave an analogy. If a tree was growing in one direction and then prematurely cut down, would the tree fall in that direction or the other direction? And then he said, of course, in the direction it was growing. Then Buddha said, likewise, you have been supportive of the Triple Gem. You have been practicing wholesome deeds for a long time. You have been inclining towards wholesomeness. Even if you die in an untimely fashion, in an accident, you wouldn't then suddenly incline towards unwholesomeness. And that's why all the traditions, all the different lineages, yeah, regardless of the lineage, all emphasize on daily practices, emphasize on habituation of wholesomeness. Yeah, there's no tradition that says your whole life you can do whatever you want. Don't worry, we cover your last 8 hours, the final 8 hours, then gautin ready. No tradition, no whoever. Yeah, there's no grandmaster who dare to come and say, you don't worry, just carry on with your life. Just make sure your family members send me a text when you pass away. I will take care of your. No such a thing. Even in the Tibetan tradition, where we talk about the Bardo state, right? The Bardo teaching is not telling you don't have to do anything. Then just in the final, no. I'm not saying Shumei is saying that, but a lot of people have a misconception. Yeah.
Shifu, thanks for articulating that, because then it all makes sense. Because if a person were to die in the hospital, there's no way the hospital will leave him or her for 8 hours. That's one thing. Second thing is, for those who die, who has suffered brain death because of neurological injury, then under the law, their organs would have to be harvested. So if that's the case, then he doesn't run the risk of going into the lower realm because he's doing a good deed as a result of his death. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but I can tell you, despite me citing the sutta on that, right? Most people, Chinese Chinese kiasu, kiasu, kiasi. So, hey, 师傅, just in case, ma. Oh, but having said that, Shumei, I have been invited to the Kotepak not temple, hospital, to conduct training for their nurses.
Mm.
Yeah. So they actually invite religious leaders of different traditions, different religion, to do sharing with them on things to look out for, especially the palliative part. So they actually asked me about this 8 hours thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I told them that there is such a practice. Yeah. So because they are not Buddhist and it's not a temple, right? There's no, it's too complicated if I bring in the teachings. So I tell them that there are those who observe this. So where possible, to be sensitive to it. So they actually share with me that where possible, they'll try to like shift the person to a like a holding area or something. Yeah. So at least I know Kotepok try to do that. But as Shumei say, in most temples, not in most
hospitals
hospitals,
cannot. Yeah.
they don't have the big space. Yeah, and
Yes.
yeah, there's a lot of process they need to do if they hold
Yeah.
the body for long. Mm,
That's right. Thank
yeah.
you.
Oh. Yeah. So should it be stored in? Can it be? Should it be scattered or stored in a niche? Again, this is more about. This is actually a lot about the living. Yeah, this is really a lot about the living. To me, it's not a bad thing to remember our forefathers. Yeah, because that can kindle in the younger generation a sense of connection and gratitude. Yeah, uh, uh, values like piety and so on. It's hard to evoke if there's no connection. Uh, uh, but can it then be scattered in the sea? Well, there are many ways to do it, isn't it? Yeah. If it's scattered in the sea, then you set up a memorial tablet or something somewhere, then you can still remember the departed. Yeah. But again, Chinese have this fear that, oh, but if you scatter it into the ocean, will we become haikui, the sea ghost? uh, so the trouble is this. If we start fearing for all possibilities, then what must we do? What can we do? Quickly cultivate law, right? Instead of saying I don't want to cultivate, but let's do the backup plan. Yeah, but how do you know the backup plan work or not? You also don't know, ma, right? Until then you know, ma. By the time you're high quit, then too late, right? Yeah, the Buddha's approach is never wait until you go to hell, then we have a backup plan for you. No, he tell you up front what you should not do to go to the lower realms. Yeah, so preventive measure. All the teachings is about preventive measure. The unwholesome one, preventive measure. The wholesome one is active measure. Yeah. So can go for direct cremation. So it depends how direct. Like father just then okay, like yeah, so as I said, the whole process of the wake and the funeral is actually a way for the living to grieve. Because we must recognize that most of us are not enlightened. Maybe some of us are very enlightened. So we are not attached. And when our family members pass away, we see it very clearly. And maybe we can even see, oh, Papa already take rebirth, oops, as a cockroach. Or Papa already take rebirth, oh, in Pure Land already. Yeah, don't worry, the body gone already lah. But you see, when you look at the sutra, you never once see the Buddha telling people off this way. The Buddha see clearly that the being has passed on, taken rebirth, but the Buddha don't go around and say, "Aya, you cry for what? Already see, already take rebirth, you cry for what? No use one." The Buddha don't say such things. You don't see Buddha, Bodhisattvas, or any of the arhats, chiding people for grieving. Yeah. So even if we learn the Dharma and we are able to not be so, we must have due consideration for the needs of others who need that process to make sense of the parting. After all, the family member have been with us for tens decades, then suddenly it's like our family member is not like, but hey, think take throw, right? Yeah. Even if it's your favorite cup, I think if it's your favorite cup, the other day is Sakyang here. The other day, one of the volunteers sent the car for scrap, and then after that, during the team meeting, she was like, "Sifu, I feel very sad." I was like, "Why?" "I scraped my car." They even take a photo, post on Facebook. I'm not laughing at her. I'm saying that I'm highlighting this as an example that even for a car, which is non-living thing, the fact that it served her for 15 years, 10 years plus 5 years COE extension, she feel a connection with the car. Then, of course, for human beings, human to human, that there will be a deeper sense of that bond and attachment. We are not trying to encourage attachment, but we are coming from an angle of understanding. So keep this in mind when we handle wakes, funeral, and people's passing. Okay? Yeah. And with that, we wrap up for today. Okay? Have a meaningful Monday ahead.